Late evening to Asia, good afternoon to Europe, good early morning to the US. I think it's great. We are connected. In old days, I think we would never been able to get the audience, to get the speakers, because everybody would have had, doesn't fit to my travel schedule. So I think there are some positives with all this digital way of doing things. But of course, there is no substitute for meeting in person, and that's why I'm also happy to see some people on this side of screen here in the audience. Just to give two figures for context. In Estonia, if we were to switch fully to real-time economy, we would save 200 million euros annually and 14 million working hours. Plenty of time to spend on other cooler things. So that's why I think the topic is really important, and I'm very happy to welcome you all here virtually and also in the hall in Estonian Business School to the Real-Time Economy and TINOCAP project joint conference. As the title says, from plan to practice, we are starting to move from a planning phase towards practical use cases and prototyping on both national and cross-border level. In some cases, we are already seeing real developments and e-service usage, such as e-waybills or e-invoices, e-receipts. These are all important pieces. And as we all know, digital transformation is vital for business development, especially cross-border and in a secure and safe way. Maybe one additional number just to give you the perspective. There is currently only one EU-wide use case in a digital single market, and that's the COVID certificate. It's a great thing, keeping people traveling, keeping businesses open, and it is also a great success in terms of usage. As of September, it was downloaded 1.4 billion times. So it's a real thing. That for me gives just a scale of a market we potentially can conquer if we do more cross-border services to more real-time economy stuff. Together with you, our national and international colleagues, we have set the ambition high in the real-time economy to create business environment where data transactions will be automated, standardized, and shared in real time. So that's the essence. The utmost important is to boost structural and even more so a mindset change towards a data-driven economy. And we are all in this exercise together. The digitalization of the economy starts at grassroots level. Applying real-time economy principles means changing the way of entering, transmitting, and exchanging the data without changing the content of data itself. For example, moving from paper and PDF documents to machine-readable data so we can forget the paperwork would make lives of many people much more easier and enjoyable. Well, maybe some people will regret, but there is always a trade-off. The key is to exchange data smoothly in real time between businesses and the government in your country and across borders. At this conference, we are really focused on practice, so what it means. Countries are facing similar challenges when speaking about digitalization. SMEs, industries, and public organizations jointly can develop a supportive and efficient economic environment, which is in line with green and digital transition goals. From practical perspective, we know it is needed to conduct awareness-raising activities to deepen transnational dialogue and prototype different joint cross-border e-service showcases, just as COVID certificate. That's how we can create practice, learn from process, and share the knowledge, which is really, really important. I'm glad to see so many real-time economy service initiatives increasing the interest of the private and public sector and serving as role models. There is no country in a civilized world which has not faced possible money laundering risks, a topic in one of the panels. Financial crimes today are more sophisticated and much harder to discover and solve than even a few decades ago. Know your customer procedures completed by the obliged entities is one of the first defense lines in the fight with money laundering and financing terrorism. Yet today, KYC procedures are in many parts still as last century thing with no machine-readable data being available, and there is still no or limited standardization. And if we think across the borders, it is even more complicated to receive and use or trust such data. I'm thinking, isn't there any perspective in the near future to automate KYC procedures and make it even run across border? What we can do to make it efficient, not time-consuming? I'm sure the discussion today will give us some insights on the topic. Another great example is e-waybills. Our vision together with the European Commission to digitize both business-to-business and business-to-government transport information flow across Europe with e-FDI regulation is undoubtedly ambitious. However, we love challenges, and we have already started working on options and solutions in the Baltics and Nordics. We believe that with this, the EU can take the lead in the area of digitalized transport to inspire and be a role model and a standard setter at a global level. Digitalization and trusted sharing of road freight data in real time is a key solution for increasing the transport process transparency and reducing the administrative burden, all good things. I'm looking forward to hearing you today how to achieve the goal of green and digital road transport and cross-border interoperability already in the near future, because people and businesses would like to see the practical outcomes, precisely as the title of today says. Besides electronic waybills, every economic transaction is related to invoices and receipts. The e-invoicing directive has set the use of EU e-invoicing standards already since April 2020. And as a next step, EU countries are actively working on EU e-receipt standard, which should be in place by the end of 2022. In many countries, e-invoices are mandatory in doing business with the public sector, so it is also in Estonia. But the volumes of e-invoices are still rather low or differ greatly between countries and sectors. So there is a space for convergence and, of course, convergence upwards, not downwards. We should learn from each other's experience to increase the usage of e-invoices and continue working together towards the common EU e-receipt standard and its usage to make life easier for all, payment supply chain practices as well as the end users, entrepreneurs and citizens alike. Even more, it is important to share the knowledge how to really boost both e-receipts, e-invoices in the business and consumer environment. First initiatives for that are already starting. The European Commission is right about to start the analysis project of a real-time economy, and in more detail with the analysis of e-receipt across border service model. Again, something what will help to boost the economy. All previously mentioned real-time economy solutions are a most valuable input for the reporting data that our entrepreneurs submit to the state authorities. This is one of the most time-consuming activity, creating administrative burden for enterprises in all countries. You can imagine how many data is created during economic actions and how much data is submitted in the national registers. Let's use it many times and let's share it for the benefit of everybody. Machine-readable and data-driven reporting based on real-time data is one of the most important fields under the real-time economy concept. Both Nordics and Baltics are working together towards data-driven reporting based on the same principles. Imagine what if all public sector organizations who set reporting obligations to enterprises have the same data taxonomy and use the same standardized reporting system. Entrepreneurs must not worry about to whom and what data should be submitted. It is done as a background process and based on their consent. We are not just talking about financial data here, but also non-financial data. Next year, the European Commission will introduce the taxonomy of sustainable reporting, which will become mandatory for big and listed companies. Sustainable taxonomy is an integral part of non-financial reporting. For an entrepreneur, data-based reporting means much more user-friendly, automatic, and easier communication with the state. Cooperation between the private and public sectors must be actively continued in order to make the company's communication with the state as simple and automated as possible. All those topics and other new real-time economy initiatives will be explored more and more in depth during today. So please enjoy the conference and be an active participant. Use the opportunity to ask questions, be in real time, and share your own ideas with such a wide range of transnational professional speakers and the audience around the globe. Thank you very much.